There's a sense of urgency that we all must do something.
We shouldn't feel defeated.
We can do it. Perpetual planet means protecting nature as if our lives depend on it.
We have to keep hope alive.
How can we use our skills to solve these global problems?
I love for my research to have an impact in the life of people.
It takes a collective effort from all of us to inspire, to educate.
Putting all the knowledge together.
Más gente involucrada, más gente.
We are not going to stop until we get the job done.
It was just the beginning.
Fantastic.
Woo. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Can I... hello? Hello? Thank you for coming. This is very exciting. It's going to be a great evening. Can I get a show of hands for anybody who has not been to the Explorers Club before? Wait. All right. So the Explorers Club is a social organization of scientists and people looking for discovery all over the world. We are really well known for our famous firsts, the first to the top of Everest, the first to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the first to both poles, and the first to the moon. They're listed in the lobby, and as Richard Garriott, our previous president, loves to say, there's a space underneath for when man first goes to Mars, because we truly believe there will be an Explorers Club member on it. We are very proud of all our scientists who go out into the field, and those who really, we believe, are pushing the rock up the hill. We award the Explorers Club flag to carry with them. You'll see them around the room. Hidden behind here is one that I was very privileged to take, flag number 7, that went to Siberia in the early 90s, where we did a post-communism expedition across the Arctic Russian coast. Then it's not here anymore. In the Apollo room, there's also little teeny flags, because we didn't want to give the astronauts big flags. And every Apollo mission had Explorers Club flags, so we're very proud of that too. Anyway, so that's the Explorers Club in a nutshell. So tonight's 2 sections. We're going to have a screening of the 2025 Oceanic Global Short Film Festival with a panel, and then followed by a sneak peek, the first time in public for the finalists of the United Nations World Oceans Photo Competition. And so that will also have a little panel afterwards. So the special screening, so we're going to start with the screening of the films. This event invites guests to experience these compelling short films that illuminate the ocean's beauty, challenges, and cultural significance, while also exploring ways to get involved in ocean conservation. Before we get going, I would just like to have a moment to introduce a couple of Oceanic Global's tireless representatives who have truly made this event possible. I can't tell you how terrific it has been to work with the Oceanic Global. First up is Anna Ducour. Take it away, Anna.
Thank you, Mark and Martin, everyone at the Explorers Club. We are so grateful to be here, and I can't tell you how beautiful it is to see such a full room, to experience the wonder and joy of these short films, and to be able to enjoy this panel during World Oceans Week ahead of UNOC in Nice this year. For those that don't know, Oceanic Global is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to reconnect humanity back to our blue planet and provide tangible solutions to protect it. Things like this with our short film festival and partnerships with Explorers Club allow us to be able to connect across all stakeholder groups and be able to produce events like this, including being a partner since 2019 to the UN Division for Ocean Affairs in producing UN World Oceans Day every year, typically held at the headquarters in New York, and for the first time this year in Nice. So we're very excited to be representing still some of New York, to be celebrating this beautiful World Oceans Week still here in New York, and continuing this momentum and being able to gather this group. So we're so grateful for you to be here. Thank you so much. Before kind of introducing our short films, I do want to acknowledge this year's 2025 UN World Oceans Day theme, which is wonder. We often say everyone in this room knows about everything happening in the ocean with our planet, but we really do say if the warnings haven't motivated us, it's wonder that will. And we think that these screenings, these videos, and these films are a way to evoke emotion and wonder, which is really tied to our mission of reconnecting humanity back to our planet. With that, I'll introduce Gina, Oceanic Global's Partnerships and Events Manager, and the woman behind this entire short film screening. So very excited to introduce Gina. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much to the Explorers Club for having us. As Anna said, this film festival really is about inspiring action and connecting people. I think a lot of times you need to see something to want to protect it and want to conserve it. So our goal with this festival is not only to inspire that action and that sense of wonder, but also to highlight different communities and different stories from all over the world. So we had 75 submissions from 23 different countries this year, and the screenings have been happening all over the world. I think we're up to 9 different countries. So we were on the top of a mountain in Italy, down to Mexico and California, and of course in New York. So we're really excited to get to bring these beautiful stories and these beautiful works of art to communities all over the place and inspire that action and wonder that the World Oceans Day theme is all about. So with that, I will let you watch the films, and then we'll have a panel discussing how film can be an impetus for action. Thank you.
There is a profound connection between the cosmos out there and the blue beneath. Looking up for the stars or down below the waves make us realize that we are part of something bigger, something here since billions of years. The vastness of both worlds brings a humbling feeling. The human species, so important on Earth, but so insignificant on a larger scale. A speck of dust in the grand scheme of things, a fraction of a second in a universe timeline. And yet, our journey to the stars and under the waves just started. As Carl Sagan said, we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. To witness the beauty of it, or the time that we are here, won't be long, and that's okay. That is the way things are. Enjoy the beauty while we can, because we can. Spectators of the sublime, to admire the only perfection that will ever be. nature, to explore and understand its mysteries, variety, vastness, a living poetry in all shapes and forms. All the cosmos lies within us, around us, upwards and beneath.
This is Australia's Great Southern Reef, one of the most diverse and unique marine ecosystems on the planet. Stunning kelp reefs, lush seagrass beds, and shallow reef forests are home to some of the world's most unique and endemic species. One particular inhabitant is one of the world's rarest creatures. Incredibly camouflaged, they blend in easily. Living amongst the kelp reef, it hunts and devours its prey, uniquely maneuvering between the reef unnoticed. With wavy spines, long appendages, and a snout like a dragon, this animal certainly is unique. The leafy sea dragon lives here, and this male is looking for a partner. Like seahorses, male leafy sea dragons care for the egg brood until hatching. This female leafy sea dragon already carries a fresh egg brood inside of her. She's waiting for the perfect time and moon phase, when the water temperature rises by just a single degree, to begin transferring her precious eggs over to her male partner's tail. When the time is right, she signals to him, and they come together. Once the egg transfer is complete, the male dragon cares for the fresh egg brood on his tail. The female keeps a close eye on her babies. With this couple now having successfully completed the delicate egg transfer, the male takes on the responsibility of caring for the precious cargo. During this time, he will remain mostly in one location for 6 weeks. But the male's job is not that easy. He must ensure his egg brood remains safe from predators and opportunistic fish looking for an easy protein-rich meal. He avoids an attempt from this reef fish just in time. The eggs remain safe for now and are beginning to develop. Tiny eyes become visible. As the eggs grow a covering of algae. As darkness begins to descend, a feeling of expectation comes over the reef. A tail begins to emerge. It is happening. Suddenly, a baby leafy sea dragon emerges from its egg and begins life in the ocean. This footage is the first of its kind, showing that leafy sea dragons are pelagic at birth, floating at the mercy of ocean swells and currents, feeding on the microorganisms that exist there, until the time comes to find her own patch of reef. She's made it. After having survived the first pelagic stage of her life, she has landed on her own patch of reef, not far from mum and dad. Feeding on mysids, she learns and grows. And so, the next generation of leafy sea dragon survives in the great expanse that are our oceans. For now. And so, this amazing life cycle begins again. On Australia's Great Southern Reef.
Het was eigenlijk gewoon een hele rustige dag. Het voelde net alsof alle kracht uit mijn armen en mijn benen wegvloeide. Voor een moment was het alsof ik wegviel. Eigenlijk was het heel mooi en rustgevend. Mijn hoofd wil heel veel dingen, maar mijn lichaam wil niet. De fotografie die ik voorheen deed is totaal anders dan wat ik nu maak. Er zit nog steeds uitdaging in, maar het is een totaal andere uitdaging. Ik wil graag laten zien hoe ik de wereld zie. Want dat is op een totaal andere manier. Wat ik over wil brengen is de emotie die ik voel. En ik denk dat dat op dit moment veel meer bij mij past. En het hoeft niet allemaal perfect te zijn. Maar het blijft altijd op de kant. En nooit echt in de actie. Dat je in het water ligt en dat het water verscheurd wordt, dat het tegen je aanvliegt. En dat je daar toch een mooi beeld uit kan halen. Ik wil gewoon weer het water in. Om dat weer eens te voelen. Om erbij te zijn. Ik denk dat als water niet meer in mijn leven zou zijn, dat ik een stuk van mijn persoonlijkheid kwijtraak. Ik heb het idee dat het wel meevalt.
Nee, dat is het niet.
Maar dat komt, zeg maar, ik zoek die stabiliteit op natuurlijk.
Ja, dus ik moet veel meer...
Jawel, maar als jij niet zeg maar, op de juiste plek staat zeg maar, om mij stabiliteit te geven, dan druk ik jou daarheen.
Dat is het.
We hebben het geluk dat we elkaar echt al heel lang kennen. Marije was 15, ik was 17. Maar het is Marije ook overkomen. Ja, soms dan had ik dat natuurlijk allemaal graag anders gewild. Waar heb ik dit aan verdiend? Had het anders gekund? Natuurlijk vraag ik me dat af. Het duurt gewoon heel lang voordat ik gefrustreerd raak. Ik kan eindeloos doorgaan. Maar er komt een punt dat ik gewoon hulp nodig heb. Dat weet ik. En als ik dat accepteer, dan kom ik nog verder.
Klein poesje. The good smell for wetsuit.
Ik vraag me soms best wel af, zeg maar, van waarom ik dit doe. En ergens ben ik er denk ik ook wel bang voor dat dit misschien een afsluiting is van een hoofdstuk. En misschien is dat ook wel zo. En dus ja, ergens is het wel het afsluiten van een hoofdstuk, denk ik ook. Maar ja, Ergens vind ik het dus ook gewoon heel vet om mensen te laten zien wat allemaal mogelijk is. En ja, ondertussen vind ik het ook heel mooi om mensen te inspireren terwijl ik dit doe. Als ik echt even heel diep kijk, zeg maar, waarom ik dit eigenlijk doe, ja, dan doe ik omdat ik dat wil. En dat is gewoon heel duidelijk. Dat de zee mij iets ontnomen heeft. En ik denk dat dat de grootste aantrekkingskracht is. Dat het zoveel power heeft en dat het gaat waar het niet gaan kan. En dat is eigenlijk precies wie ik ben.
Why doesn't the panel come up? I'm going to do a quick introduction. Wow, Not Your Parents film competition. That was astounding. So, everybody in? Wherever you, yeah, you go there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting in this one. Thank you. All right, so to discuss that, because I wasn't going to present, I didn't watch them till just now, and I'm still sort of speechless. Anyway, to discuss this, we have a distinguished panel. Kristina Nikolova is a Bulgarian-born, award-winning filmmaker whose directorial debut, Faith, Love and Whiskey, premiered at Sundance and won multiple festival awards. Kristina is currently working on 2 feature documentaries, including Project SETI and developing a climate-themed narrative feature, Amphibia. Thank you for being here. And then we have Logan Lambert, and he is the director and producer at Toast Studios. Logan has always been drawn to the beauty and challenges of the natural world. He worked with Oceanic and National Geographic on the series Ocean Explorers, documenting humpback whales and marine research in some of the planet's most remote waters. Logan is based in New York. And finally, moderating, the wonderful Devon Chivis, writer, director, and producer of narrative and documentary television and film, with a passion for visual storytelling. Her mission is to create inspiring human stories with the highest possible production value, cinematography, editing, and sound design. Take it away, Devon. Thank you.
Welcome this evening to all of you who came to enjoy these beautiful, beautiful films, so moving, each in their own very unique way. And I wanted to thank as well Ocean Oceanic Global for bringing this incredible film festival here and sharing it with those of us at the Explorers Club tonight. As Mark Brian Brown just said, I'm a little bit speechless, so you'll have to bear with me here for a moment. But as Gina from Oceanic Global expressed in her introduction, the theme for the films this year is wonder. And how does wonder infuse our bodies, minds, our intellects, our experiences, and how does that connect to the natural world with the oceans in particular? So I wanted to also thank you two before I throw some questions your way. No trick questions, I promise. But in thinking about this theme of water, what is an example of wonder, whether it be involving water, oceans, or otherwise? What is one example of wonder that you may have encountered recently?
Hi. Yes, it's we should have watched these films ahead of time because they're just like I'm stuck with them now. It's so beautiful. That's the easiest question. For me, I've been working. I'll start from there. I've been working on this documentary about Project SETI for the past 5 years, and Project SETI is the kind of largest, biggest interdisciplinary attempt of history to speak with whales. That's not the sci-fi project, that's a documentary. And we've been following the scientists in labs and in Dominica if they set up their whole operation. And after all this time, finally we're doing some underwater photography. And in January with David Gruber, who's the lead of the project, who's here, he was in the water with our underwater cinematographer and they were shooting some whales, sperm whales, that's what they're studying. And after working for 5 years on that and not basically having seen no whales except like flukes and labs, and I was like, I'm just gonna jump in after them. And I'm not a brave person or explorer by any means, unless, you know, growing up in communism counts as that. So I jumped in and, you know, I saw the size of the mother and calf, and David and the cinematographer, John Allen, tiny, and I was terrified, but I just swam to them for protection, and the closer I got to the animals, all my fears, all my worries, all my anxiety, all of it went away. I'm sure you've heard that before, and the locals call it like kind of before whale and after whale person, so they started calling me Christina after whale, and I was a totally new person coming back to New York, which my husband can attest. So yes, that was wondrous, and I love the theme of your this year's Oceanic Global Festival.
I do think it's an incredible thing to stop and think. I know all of us had a lot of extra time on our hands during COVID, and lately I've been trying to remember that feeling of stopping and noticing every bird, every animal, every slug that's wanting to get into my lettuce patch. And I think there's a slowness that comes with this sense of wonder as well. And I certainly noticed that in all three of these films. They were very contemplative to me and really communicated a deep feeling, which as filmmakers and artists, that is our job, to move the audience so that the audience may connect with something in a way that they may never have even had the opportunity to connect with in their life. So Logan, I throw the question to you. Have you experienced wonder at all? Excuse me.
Yeah, thanks.
Recently or in your life? Sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks for having me here. It's always been an honor for me to come to the Explorers Club and to speak, so this is really nice for me. Just thinking about wonder, I had looked at some of the questions like before I came, and I was thinking about it, and I had a really unique opportunity to work with Oceanic and on Ocean Explorer, as you said. And there was, I had the privilege to go in a submarine and see underwater, 300 meters deep, and see the seafloor being illuminated by the sub, and just feeling like, oh my God, there's so much that we don't know about our oceans. And I think ever since that moment, it's always stuck with me, and for what I wanted, to tell stories about was just one, fueling my own curiosity, but also sharing what you could learn and hopefully inspire other people.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. That darkness when you're down so deep in the ocean, where it's just like being in I haven't been to space, not yet, but I would imagine it has a similarity, but that darkness and then something will cross the frame of light. And it's just a magical, almost, it's hard to find words for that experience, I think. So I jumped a little bit ahead and I didn't give you guys a chance to, well, Mark did introduce you very nicely. I wondered, Christina, how you got into making films. I know you have a long line of cinematographers in your family. And I wonder, I wonder how that has influenced your approach to visual storytelling.
Yeah. Did you do that thing in the subway? You turn off the light and flash?
Oh, yeah.
So
it's
cool.
Scary when it come off.
I come from a family of cinematographers, Bulgaria. I'm cinematographer turned director, fiction director turned documentarian. I think visual storytelling. I went to NYU Film School, and one of the first things they made us do is tell a story without words, without music, without words, like a 5-minute story. So I always, I think, start from there in the back of my mind. And then in my documentaries, I've been trying really hard to kind of capture visually the story and then avoid talking heads, which is unavoidable. And that's...
So I think you probably had an advantage becoming a filmmaker then, because you'd been raised in it. But I think you made a really interesting point, which one also could see in these films here, which is tell the story with the visuals and try and use fewer words, try and show the story, don't tell the story. And so in the natural world, we have endless opportunities to do that. One question, Logan, that we had for you, I'd first love you to say a little bit about how you got into the business and what you do specifically, because I gather you do branded content, commercial content. But how has that also informed your current work in documentary world?
Yeah, well, I moved to New York 8 years ago. Yesterday was the anniversary for that. I'm almost close to being a New Yorker, 10 years. But I've always been a really curious person. I always wanted to pick up photography when I was younger. I'd try to hunt around for a camera if I could. I didn't have one in my family, but we had like the old VHS recorders and things, so I'd kind of mess around with those. And then, after moving to New York, I got a job working more in advertising, but in the travel industry for a company called Beautiful Destinations, which is more social media driven. And that kind of opened up the doors for me to learn more about, documentary filmmaking, commercial filmmaking, traveling to, remote places and learning how to be self-sufficient and things like that. And I got deeper and deeper into it, and I just love meeting people and learning new things about, whether it's the ocean or just cultures or people, travel. There's so many things to learn. So I think that natural curiosity has kind of driven me in my filmmaking career, and I have a lot to learn. I think all of us can attest. We're still learning, like, all the time.
I think that's the wonderful thing about being a filmmaker, is it allows you to start fresh. Every time you finish a project, you get to start exploring something new, intellectually, geographically. And it's like curiosity never ends, because it's a difficult, very challenging career, but it's just so rewarding. And what you just said, Logan, leads me to the next topic that we wanted to talk about, which is when you're traveling, when you're filming, whether it's wildlife, terrestrial wildlife or undersea wildlife or people in remote countries around the world, what do we have as far as our responsibility as filmmakers and storytellers? We have to walk a line between awe and showing awe and capturing drama, but responsibility for the representation of the place and of the wildlife, of the species. So again, human or animal. Can you comment on that one? Do you want to take that one, Christina?
Yeah.
You both.
So I think it's super important just to listen and to be really observant and try to learn as much as you can, either on the subject matter or the person. Something I do in like my filmmaking, especially when it comes to documentary filmmaking, is you want to have as many calls as possible with whoever is in that place. Learn as much as you can so that you build trust already in the topic and in the subject, the people. So having really, I mean, authenticity is going to come up probably when you speak of things like that. You don't want to be going to a place and just extracting and then leaving and not really giving back or being honest about your storytelling. Like, you want to connect to these people, like in the films that we saw, like, and even one of the ones I think it was gonna play next. It was Kaush's film. He teaches kids how to swim. Or there's a beautiful film, and I think being able to give back in that way and organizing community events and things like that's also really important. But yeah, just learning as much as you can about your subjects and the people, and yeah.
Yeah, I think extracting is the right word, and I learned a lot from David, who's the main character in the Project Say documentary. In that, when he comes to Dominica, he's not doing parachute science, right? He is teaching the local people, involving them. I was going to bring a cinematographer, fancy cinematographer from the other side of the world, but Fiona, who also runs SETI, introduced me to a local Dominican guy who was better than my fancy cinematographer and became my cinematographer. So with people, it's easy because you can ask permission, right? Do you want to be in the film? And you can involve them. With the animals, with the whales, it's been very interesting. I follow the locals. They live there. They have 20 years of swimming with the whales. So I just take their lead. If they tell me we jump here, and if the animal comes to you and scans you, it's okay, we do it. But if the animal turns away and clearly doesn't want to talk to you or interact with you, not talk yet, so I just kind of follow them. And you can really, I feel it's almost like, in a foreign country, like you can understand by what they're telling me, whether you engage or not.
I think that's so, what both of you have said is, to me, really harkens to the skill of listening, whether it's to an animal's behavior or to a human's interaction with you. And I think that's another really important part of being filmmakers and storytellers.
Hello. We accidentally cut one of the films off the presentation, which Logan referred to. Thank you, Logan. We did notice, but we were like, well, maybe we'll get away with this. But you
That's okay.
So we're now going to show it out of fairness to a terrific filmmaker. And then we'll have very brief remarks, and we're also going to show. No, stay. You may as well sit. Okay. You want to watch it. Yeah. Here we go.
Ensina-nos que o oceano é um lugar perigoso, um sítio a temer. As pessoas que se aventuram no oceano nem sempre voltam. O meu nome é Bento Armando Nhamussua, vivo na Baía de Guijata, em Moçambique. Comecei a ir para o mar quando tinha 17 anos, para fazer pesca submarina. Não sabia nadar, mas não tinha muitas opções. As pessoas aqui precisam de pescar para sobreviver. Muitas vezes as pessoas saem para a pesca submarina sem saber nadar. Quando chega à água, está agitada, não sabe como regressar à costa em segurança. As crianças acostumam brincar nas águas pouco profundas, mas quando o maré sobe e já não consegue tocar no chão, mete-se em sardinho. Muitas crianças já se perderam no mar aqui. Quando era mais novo, quase fui uma dessas crianças. Tive sorte por alguém me ter salvo. Nem toda a gente tem essa sorte. A partir desse momento, fiquei esperado e determinado a não deixar que isso voltasse a acontecer a mim ou a qualquer pessoa. Comecei a frequentar as aulas de natação comunitárias liderada pela Love the Ocean, uma instituição de caridade para a conservação marinha. Tinha 18 anos de idade. Rapidamente melhorei e em breve era o melhor da minha turma. Quando me senti mais confiante, comecei a treinar no mar. Queria melhorar o mais rapidamente possível para poder ensinar outras pessoas a nadar e estar em segurança na água. Um ano depois de ter aprendido a nadar, qualifiquei-me como professor de natação. Vamos. Dobrar, esticar. Dobrar. As crianças entram no mar e mostram a profundidade que conseguem atingir, sem saber o perigo que isso pode representar. As aulas de natação aqui são apenas uma diversão, são uma lição de como sobreviver. Vivemos tão perto do oceano, mas quase ninguém consegue entrar na água para ver a vida fantástica que vive à nossa porta. Comecei a mergulhar para poder experimentar estas maravilhas. Costumava ver as baleias a dar à costa e ficava hipotenizado. Sonhava em vê-las na água. Como agente de conservação da Love the Ocean, tenho a sorte de passar muito tempo no oceano. O meu objetivo é partilhar estas experiências com mais pessoas da região. É uma pena que vivemos tão perto dessas maravilhas, mas a maioria das pessoas não é capaz de as apreciar. As pessoas precisam de sobreviver e alimentar as suas famílias. Não têm tempo nem recursos para o oceano. Sonho em ver um tubarão enquanto mergulho. Sei que eles estão aqui. Os pescadores apanham-nos com muita frequência. É doloroso ver estes belos animais a serem apanhados, mas as pessoas têm muito poucas opções. Há muita boca esfomeada para alimentar. Espero ajudar a mudança em algumas das práticas de pesca na zona através da minha investigação, ensinando aos pescadores formas mais sustentáveis de apanhar peixe e por que é que os tubarões são tão importantes para a saúde dos oceanos. Não nos ensina nada sobre o oceano na escola. As crianças não fazem ideia das maravilhas que nele se encontram, nem porque é tão importante protegê-lo. Temos de ensinar os oceanos à próxima geração. Sem os oceanos, não há vida. Como novo pai, espero que um dia os meus filhos possam ver algumas das coisas fantásticas que eu vi. Temos de proteger os oceanos, por muitas razões. A mais importante é para o bem da próxima geração. Como é que eu vou lhes dizer que deixamos o oceano morrer? Somos todos peixinhos num grande oceano, mas juntos somos fortes. Juntos podemos fazer a diferença.
Give you a chance for one quick comment, then we're going to show Christina's trailer. No.
Okay, so that was another beautiful film. I'm so glad that we showed it after all. That's great. Let me just check my notes here for a moment since we paused. Final comments from everybody? Well, let me give them a throw. Basically, you know, for many years, we've heard about the climate crisis and all the gloom and doom stuff and, you know, just depressing thing one after another. But I feel like the awareness has gotten to a point where now I feel more hope. And when I see a film like this film we just saw, I feel it's really moving to know that there are, across the world, there are, whether it's an individual or an institution, really working to make change. So I think, again, with this theme being wonder of this film festival this year, and just ending with that film, can you maybe make a sort of closing comment to that? Whatever moves you. So Roger Payne, who's, I'm sure a lot of you know, the whale biologist, he was part of Project SETI, a mentor to David. And in one of the last time we spoke, he said something that just stuck with me. I think it was a quote. So if you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men, gather wood, give them orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. So I think that's what storytelling does versus a lecture and a warning and all that we just push away. Like this movie was just so moving because it tells that little story. That's really well said. Absolutely.
I think just being involved, coming to things like this, investing in projects or people, or learning as much as you can, sharing your knowledge about the things that you care about. I think that's my takeaway.
I don't think my mic is working, but thank you again to our panel.
We're going to show a trailer. This is the first time we're showing something from the film, and it's a rough trailer, but I just wanted to share something here because of the special place and event. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then for a lot of buzzing, and then the song of the whale started an avalanche of interest in the environmental movement. If we learn to speak with a whale, what effect will that have on us, humanity?
In this project, we will listen deeply to the communication of sperm whales, understand this Morse code-like communication, translate their language, and hopefully talk back. Right now, the Project SETI team is on the Caribbean island of Dominica, where we will be studying 20 square kilometers of ocean, installing a new special whale listening device, and combining this with our robotics and machine learning. Essentially, we're doing what a baby does to learn the language from its mother.
Hopefully they'll say, hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, they're here. Yeah, coming in strong.
Woo, they are talking.
You can't expect everything to work the first time. Whales have a way to reach people that other animals don't. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
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 Hi, good morning. Oh, good morning.
The question is, what are they going to say about us?
All right, moving quickly on to the United Nations World Oceans Photography Competition. This is a sneak peek. Put your cell phones away. Woohoo! We're not meant to be distributing these. They get announced actually on Friday, I believe. And right after this, we're going to have a panel, as I said, to explore the deeper impact of ocean photography and how powerful imagery can shift public perception and inspire advocacy and spark action for marine conservation, all in a very brief amount of time so we can go and have a drink. But before I do, I'm going to run through the finalists and give you, this is actually a previous winner, or finalist from 23. It's hard for me to see. Yes, I can see it in the back there. Just while we're setting this up. And a heads up to my panelists. While I've been watching these films and thinking now, I'm going to ask you if a particular image particularly moved you and if you wanted to comment on it, which I did not put in the notes. Yes, we give notes. Yes. Anyway, so let's see if my clicker works. Oh, yeah, look at that. So there are 4 categories, I believe. This is, and I'm going to tell you what they are because otherwise it would be silent, and Lord knows you wouldn't want to be in silence. Shot in Cuba's Gardens of the Queen, this image captures a Caribbean reef shark weaving through a group of silky sharks. Cool. Did we change? Yes, there we go. Oh, this one, yeah. This photo is taken in Moorea, French Polynesia in 2024, captures the eye of a humpback whale named Sweet Girl just days before her tragic death. She was struck and killed by a fast-moving ship. This is actually a fish. I thought it was a bird first time I looked at it. Here we have a juvenile pinnate batfish captured with a slow shutter speed, a snooted light, and deliberate camera panning. As a photographer, that just sounds overwhelming to me. Oh, this is lovely. These are 2 humpback whales from the Ningaloo Reef in Western Australia. This pair of huge adult whales repeatedly spy-hopped alongside us, seeking to interact with us and investigate us. And Ollie Clark said it was one of the most moving experiences of his life. So next category, big and small underwater faces. The first one is a sea leopard showing Lars that this part of the Antarctic is his territory and you are his guest. Or her guest. I don't actually know the gender. Anybody know the name of this fish? This is a Japanese war bonnet. Are we even allowed to say that anymore? This species is not afraid of people and even likes the attention. Andre, forgive my pronunciation, said it even tried to sit on the dome port of his camera. So I suggest he keeps moving. We always love a blanket octopus. The interesting thing about this one is that normally blanket octopuses are found at very great depth. And this one was on a night dive at 20 meters. And usually they're at several hundred feet. So pretty cool, you know. Okay, seascapes. a leopard seal on the hunt in Antarctica. I believe you can see potential prey in the background if you look carefully, but yeah, tough to see, but always charming. Stingless jellies, I assume it's Jellyfish Lake, although it didn't say that, in Raja Ampat in Indonesia, but it's a lovely split level, really fantastic. This is something I didn't know about, and I've been to the Canaries, and I'm a diver, and I'm like, how did I not know about this? So this is La Rapadura, which is a hidden treasure off the coast of the Canary Islands. I'm sure a bunch of people in this room have been there, so I'm just out of the know. The formation, which looks a bit like the giant's footsteps, so I'm assuming it's similar, is columnar jointing, is what it's called, and is from million-year-old volcanic processes. Okay. School of Rays resting at a cleaning station in Mauritius, which I assume means sort of a fish cleaning station where they get their teeth cleaned and such. And I've forgotten the name of the species that does it because I'm under pressure here. But, excellent. Above water seascapes. Northern gannets soar above the dramatic cliffs of the Hermanus National Nature Reserve in the Shetland Islands. Pretty cool. A South Atlantic swell breaks on the Dungeons Reef off the Cape Peninsula, South Africa. Ken was actually shooting a surfing competition and caught that curl, and wow, yeah. A serene lake cradled by arid dunes. These are all written by the photographers, I should add. This isn't just all me rabbiting on. A serene lake cradled by arid dunes where a gentle stream breathes life into the heart of Mother Earth's creation. It's in a remote stretch of coastline near Shark Bay in Western Australia. Then we have, and finally, Paradise Harbor is one of the most beautiful places of the Antarctic Peninsula. I was lucky to see totally calm water and a clear reflection of the Suarez Glacier. So, is that going to, yes, and there we go. And so now we're going to go to the panel. I'm going to change things a little bit, Lewis, because I'm going to keep control until I've asked the question. Can we get the lights up so the panelists can come out? Or the panel light, or whatever. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see, who should we go with first? We'll see who comes up first. Miriam Stein-Battles, with a background in marine conservation policy. Miriam Stein-Battles specializes as a conservation photo editor. She has worked for nonprofits such as National Geographic, Nature Conservancy, Ocean Geographic Society. Miriam was a past judge for the UN World Oceans Day photo competition, and she is currently the editorial director for the new Nature Photography magazine, Wild Eye. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Next is the amazing Galen Rosenwax. Galen Rosenwax is a marine scientist, explorer, photographer, filmmaker, and author. She began her career at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, conducting research in Antarctica, earned a master's degree from Duke, participates and conducts expeditions in every ocean to alert the public not only to the challenges facing the oceans, but also to what science is doing to understand these changes. She's a fellow here at the Explorers Club, and an RGS fellow, I assume, a member of, and what else? Women geographers. There is no end to her qualifications. In 2022, her book, Sperm Whales, The Gentle Goliaths of the Oceans, was published. And finally, Martin Brunt. Did I say that right, Martin?
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Martin's work has been showcased in international exhibitions and honored with over 50 prestigious photography awards. What's that? Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, they did it. Thank you, Galen. Everybody's a member of the Explorers Club up here. It's a funny thing, that. For the record, he was featured in last month's Explorers Club Journal. And he's also a member of the National Speleological Society, the Royal Photographic Society, Oh my God, these people are so qualified, and more. Anyway, so let me get on with this and sit down. Oh, wait, yeah, I'm done with that. Oh, but I need this. So I did change things a little bit. So my first question is going to be, was there a particular image that moved you, and do you have any thoughts on it? And I could scroll back to it, and we could look at it.
I definitely have one.
Well, all right.
By the way, the Rachel's photo in French Polynesia of the eye of the humpback whale.
I want control, Lewis. I want to go back to this slide.
By the way, Rachel was in front of me when she shot that photo in French Polynesia, so she read my photo taking that one. I think she made the great shot. But I had to say, to the comment before, it is really a before whale and after whale. If you never experienced that, the best interaction that you can have in nature is get in the water with a whale that look into your eyes. That was my first experience 30 years ago with a southern right whale that came to play with me for an hour. That changed my life. This photo is just amazing. I really love the intensity, the sensation of interaction that you have with the whale on this one is fantastic.
Well, I will change, because I think that the last image that we saw, the one from Antarctica for me, and I don't know if it's because I love Antarctica and I know exactly how it feels to be in that moment and in that spot, but it captures the coldness of place, and I think you can kind of envision yourself standing there while he was taking that photo. So that's one of the reasons why I love it.
I might find it by the time you're finished.
Yeah, no, it's just, you feel that cold, you feel that reflection, you feel that stillness that is so unique to Antarctica.
Yes, found it. Okay. Miriam, you're going to take the first picture, right?
No, I was going to actually say that I also love the whale eye photo. What's funny is that I always advise people not to enter humpback whales into photo competitions, because there are so many humpback whales entered into photo competitions, and here we have seen 2 photos of humpback whales. So they have successfully, people are still, it amazes me, people are still making new photos of a familiar subject. However, what really caught my eye was the juvenile batfish, which I think might be the next photo. Yeah.
Oh, that one. No,
the batfish. I just love the way the photographer used the light and intentional camera movement to make this photo. I think the contrast between the yellow, orange, and the blue is gorgeous, and
it certainly brings wonder.
It does. It makes you wonder, what is that? How did they make that photo? Et cetera. Like it's just a very interesting photo.
While you're on the mic, you were a past judge.
I was.
Do you
Yes.
want to tell us, is this different from other competitions? Is it the same? I mean, do you have any thoughts you can share with us?
The UN World Ocean Photo Contest is a little different than other competitions, because as judges, we were advised to follow our emotions and to judge based on what photos brought emotions up in us, and not just based on the merit of the photo. I mean, obviously the photo has to still be good, but that is a very different kind of way to approach a photo contest. So as a judge, usually you're going for the best composition, the best light, no backscatter, no droplets on domes, et cetera, et cetera. And this photo contest, we could go with the photos that really struck us and brought out some emotion in us.
I mean, my understanding is that the photos go into a library that
Yes.
then uses for...
So for 10 years,
For conservation purposes? I'm getting in trouble.
So for 10 years, all photos that are entered into the competition go into a database for the Division of Oceans at the UN to use in marketing materials and policy papers. And I think that it's incredibly valuable because you can put a paper with lots of words down in front of somebody about the ocean, but if they've never been under the surface of the ocean, if they've never seen what we're telling them to protect, how far is that going to go? You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and pictures have saved species, led to vast tracts of land being protected, entire national parks being created. So it's also important to recognize the importance of photos in telling marine conservation stories. And I think that is part of why the database was created.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're all photographers. I'm sure you take pictures too, but, you know, so we're obviously very biased. But let's face it, when you see a picture below a huge block and then a huge block of text, you look at the picture first, and then you decide how much you want to read the block. Well, I do anyway.
Yes.
How much you want to read the block of text. And if it's a really good picture, you're probably more interested in the block of text. Galen, so you've done all this work with sperm whales. Did the photography become after the interest in the whales, or the other way? How did you felt a need to do this, or
well, I've always been a photographer, and when and I've shot underwater extensively, but I'm a scientist first. But I wanted to tell the story of this young whale that I saw when I was a toddler, and then I wanted to reconnect with sperm whales. He was a sperm whale, and I wanted to reconnect with sperm whales now decades later. And so when I embarked on the project, I knew I was going to shoot still photos of the whales, and I was always also making a film. And I have to say, I know we already touched on sperm whales a little bit before, but the second I jumped in the water with those first whales, my whole life was definitely changed. I'm a fish biologist. I'm a biological oceanographer. I was always the anti-whale girl in a lot of ways because it was like a thing as I was a marine scientist. But the second I looked into the eye of a sperm whale and I felt their curiosity towards me, I knew that as a scientist, taking these photos and trying to get these intimate portraits of moments, capture these moments that I was witnessing, was something I needed to do.
And I know you're working on a film. I'll give you a second to plug your film. Go for it.
Yes, I'm working on a film, but I'm actually just so incredibly proud of my book.
And the book, of course, yeah.
And I know Martin and I both have books with the same publisher, and I think it just to be able to tell that story through the still image, I actually think is almost more powerful than the film. It's been hard to go back to the film after creating the book, to be honest with you.
Wow. Oh, I like that. Martin, any thoughts? You want to build on that? Do you know?
For me, it was exactly the opposite. For me, was I was a diver for over 20 years, and then I have a fantastic experience, and I tried to capture it with a GoPro, and it didn't work. I was so frustrated that I came out of the water. It's like, I need to learn photography. So for me, it was about the wonders of underwater and the experiences that you can get are really the closest that you can get to being in a different planet. And it was so intense that it's like, okay, I need to figure out how to learn to capture these experiences. And with time, when you start dominating that, gets the responsibility of understanding, fantastic, now you need to be able to share with the rest of the world. I need to be at a quality that people will stop, look, pay attention, and try to have action against that.
And is the impact of your, are these competitions important for publicizing your work and that sort of thing? Is it?
Honestly, I'm not sure I care that it's worth it for publicizing my work. It's worth it to show the wonder of nature, the beauty of nature that needs to be protected. That's why I'm entering on the competitions. I entered this competition just to, provide my photos. It is so important in these days to have these competitions. The UPIs of the world, the wildlife, because it really allows Ocean Geographics. Because it allows people to see. And media to have that. That material to be communicating with the rest of the world.
But you guys do take, you take it to another level, and you recognize when other photographers do it, and it does make a difference, and yeah, we're incredibly grateful for it. So yeah, I mean, I think, but this is not easy work, and it's very.
I mean, if you see my photography, I mean, this is cave diving. I mean, you go with 4 tanks, 2 hours away from an exit to safety, on a decompression dive with Trimix. Yes, they are not, but at the same time, the wonders that you can see there. I mean, I wish you can experience those things. Seeing a macro creature, a frogfish, a whale, is really worth it. The risk is really worth it, the effort, because again, it's magical.
And how long did it take? Years of training to get to that level for the cave diving, etc., or does it just take, steel?
No, both. Literally both, but it goes hand in hand. I mean, you cannot take certain pictures unless you have the diving skills. Everybody will tell you first learn the diving skills, then try to get up the camera. Otherwise, you're going to kill yourself probably on the intent. So it's really about understanding how you grow both at the same time in parallel. And yes, I just came from Mexico to do another CCR crossover training, because if you don't know how to do that, you're risking your life.
And Galen, whales are very big.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
How do you avoid, how do you avoid getting swished out of the way by them, and how do you,
I've spent a lot of time. I started my I call it my predator phase, my large predator phase that I sort of got into when I started shooting first sharks, and then I got into orcas, and then I got obviously in the water with the sperm whales, I think that it's one of the things that's the most important thing in all wildlife photography is allowing the animal to dictate your encounter, so that you get in the water, the sperm whale comes to you. You don't swim at the sperm whale or whatever creature it is. You may gently approach because they're in the distance, but you are reading their language and they are reading you. And in order to get the image like Rachel did with that eye, or any of the images that I've captured with the whales, they are allowing me into their world. And by me respecting their space, I've never felt in danger with a whale. I certainly need to be mindful of where their tails are, and as their flukes, but also as you're in the water and you spend more and more time in the water, sperm whales do these incredibly deep dives, and that would probably be, the time that you might want to stay out of the way of the fluke. But their breathing patterns. You learn their breathing patterns, and as you learn these patterns, you're like, okay, within 30 seconds, this whale is going to dive. And then you just know that moment's coming.
Get the hell out of the way.
Yeah. Well, just, back up a little bit. But I also find with the whales, they're so curious about me. A lot of the times I am backing up from them because they want to get close, and they're clicking on me and they're looking at me and we're locking eyes with each other. And it's just an absolutely incredibly magical moment. And
so much wonder.
So much wonder. And
Right.
and not only is it wonder in that sense of, oh my God, this is amazing. It's also I'm wondering what they're thinking, and I'm hoping that they're wondering what I'm thinking in this moment, and so maybe one day
you
we'll
can
know.
talk to them
yeah.
one day.
I talk to them in English, so.
Well, there we. Right, amazing. And so I'm going to give you a second to plug your project too. Are you excited? Miriam's involved with a new magazine. My God, what a concept!
Yes, I know.
It seems like suicide. Perhaps you
It
want to
does
tell us
sound like suicide.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit.
So, Wild Eye magazine was sort of born from the ashes of not Ocean Geographic, I'm sorry, Outdoor Photographer magazine. But there's no relation anymore. And Wild Eye has quickly evolved into something much more impactful and much more, I like to think, beautiful than Outdoor Photographer, which is what inspired Wild Eye to start. It is currently a digital magazine only. You can find it at wildeyemagazine.com. And yes, write it down, please. You can currently get the first issue for free, and it has a sperm whale on the cover. I just thought I would plug sperm whales again. But no, we really feature gorgeous nature photography and very important and interesting stories to go with the nature photography. And by nature, I mean not just landscapes, but wildlife, underwater, conservation photography. And because it's a digital magazine at present, we can stuff it with as many beautiful photos as we want, which is a real luxury. We do plan on going to print next year, so look out for that and definitely check it out. We've got some great issues. We've published so far only 3 issues, so you can get through them quickly.
You could get them all, and it would be no problem. Marcia, so we've heard what these guys are up to. What's your next?
I'm working. I mean, we done the book. So my book is on protecting, bringing awareness and hopefully conservation on the aquifer on the peninsula of Yucatan in Mexico. That is a fantastic aquifer where I photograph more than 300 different cenotes. So I'm working with the local groups, I mean the conservation groups in the region, trying to figure out how to change legislation. So that's my challenge in this moment.
Terrific. All right. Any closing thoughts? I think we should get out of this while the going's good.
I do have one because we have the right person in front of us. It's very interesting to see how a photograph can really inspire a lot of conservation efforts. Most of the conservation efforts started with a photo of the pale blue dot on the Apollo mission, where for the first time people saw how finite, fragile was the planet Earth. For the first time, I mean, somebody saw that, okay, we are just in a floating rock in the middle of space. And that started all the conservation efforts that we know. And we were discussing with some friends about what is the next, tipping point where something can really inspire that level of change. And if it's one, that's Project SETI. Because if another species tell us how dumb we are, on how little regard we have for this planet, that will inspire change again. So please go ahead.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited for sure. If I were to, one of the things that really amazed me tonight is this story about getting in the water with a whale. And so that is now, something I've always wanted to do.
Me too.
And our president, Richard Garrett, who was on the space station, and he's not alone, always talks about once you've seen the Earth from space, it totally changes. Oops, I'm in trouble. Once you've seen the Earth from space, you're a changed person. Swimming with whales doesn't cost $250,000, so we could go with it. Any closing thoughts, anybody?
Well, I think that just to sort of build on that, I think, unfortunately, we can't bring everybody to the space station, and not everybody can jump in the water with whales, and not everybody has a desire to. And I have to say, diving in caves scares me tremendously, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm so glad
it takes a different kind of diver.
That I have Martin's beautiful photography that I can then visit the cenote. So I think as photographers, it's our job to bring everyone along on this journey for that inspiration. And I think the photos that we saw this evening do that. And they bring you into these incredible moments and through the eyes, because so many people can't be there.
And we're the first to see them. On that note, I just want to thank everybody for coming. And we've changed things around, so the drinks are now after the lecture. So, go for it. Let's have a drink. And all these panelists are ready here for you to talk to. And I'm very, very grateful to them for coming. Thank you so much.